Welcome back, YouTube. As you can see, F100's back in the shop. Time to do some upgrades. Now, this truck has been probably the most fun vehicle I've ever had. Not the fastest, not the shiniest, not the most expensive, but just downright fun. For those that haven't seen it, let me give you a little bit of a rundown on this. This unit is a 59 F100 custom cab. It's sitting on a 2010 Crown Victoria Police Interceptor chassis. Probably can give it away by the wheels. Just a patina, nothing crazy, cool cruiser. We also did, well, we had to shorten the bed because the short bed in this generation is too short, long bed is too long. So we split the difference, made us medium bed. For the bed, instead of making it one level across like most people do, decided to step this one down to give you more room to put fans and boxes and obviously coolers for your not beers. Taking a peek inside, have a F350 King Ranch rear seat. Obviously folds up, cup holder, armrest. We put all the stock Crown Vic gauges behind the factory bezel. Turned out pretty cool. Most of these swaps you see, they've put the Crown Vic column and or dash in it. I can't stand that. I made everything work. So all this works with a factory Crown Vic linkage, and the factory 3-speed on the column shifter works the automatic, no problem. Factory pedals, e-brake works. I mean, new carpet, headliner. It's just a really comfy little cruiser. Nothing crazy. But one thing that definitely isn't comfortable about this is driving it in the winter or in the summer. Now, we talked about the Crown Vic dashes. One advantage of running it is you can run their air conditioning evap stuff, but it just looks terrible. It's way too modern looking. And I didn't want to run an electric heater in it because I knew in the future I'm going to have to break down and put AC in it as well. So might as well just get one unit that does both things, right? So that's one of our upgrades. One of 3 things we plan on tackling in this video. Maybe 2 of them, maybe 1. I don't know. We'll see what we can get done. First things first, vintage air. Here's a little peek at the part number for those that want to know. This is what I call their hang down style unit or under dash unit. It's pretty cool. We'll get her unpackaged here and show you what it's going to look like and where it's going to go. With it unpackaged, you can see I opted for the black engine turn. It's got a really cool retro look, vintage looking knobs. Just simple, pretty compact. I mean, it's really not that big. I'm going to show you where's this going to live at. Kind of holding it up here. I think it's going to live in kind of in that ballpark. So you can see there's my OBD2 connector. That's going to have to get relocated. Not a big deal. So the unit will go up another inch or so, probably back another inch or so. I think it'll look good. Nice vintage look here, and to me it looks better than the big Crown Vic HVAC box, which, no joke, hangs way down here like this. And I don't know. I don't like it. I think this, much better. First things first, when it comes to installing one of these kits, take your instructions, just toss them in the garbage. Just kidding. Don't throw these away. Definitely going to need them. Now, with this kit being universal, the instructions, they're not going to be exact. It's going to give you a rough outline of how to do this. You're going to have to make it work with your application and do a little bit of your own research to find out which kind of dryer you're going to need, figure out whether you need a binary or trinary switch. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Figure out every one of your fittings you're going to need, which kind of hose you're going to run. They make easy clip hose, they make your normal crimp style, they make a reduced barrier. There's a lot of decisions. This is a good place to get you started. I'm not going to walk through every bit of these instructions because they're not going to be applicable to all swaps. I'm just going to kind of hit the highlights here, show you my interpretation of the instructions, how I decided to put it together. End of day 1, picked away at this thing for probably, I don't know, maybe about 4 hours or so, give or take. I'll show you what we got done so far. The AC unit itself, she's mounted. Only really thing we did differently than the way it would have came is I swapped out the regular hex head for these button Allens, and it just looks better. I was able to use the supplied universal brackets, and I just made some little spacers right there. Hung that in there. Looks good. If you think this wiring looks like a mess of spaghetti, well, you're right. Part of this harness, for instance, this section, which goes to the heater valve control box, all of that is going to go, or it's going to be tucked behind the box, go through the firewall on that side. On this side is where we're going to come through with our main power wire. We're going to have our 12-volt signal. We got a couple relays here we got to mount. It's all pretty simple, yet very ugly and intimidating looking. Nothing some zip ties, and patience won't help. The instructions here have some pretty good wiring notes, some diagrams for your heater hoses, and oops, too far. Back it up. Here we go. This is going to make your life so much easier. It's a nice laid out wiring diagram. So all that spaghetti in there, this is how it's all supposed to function. It's up to you to mount your control boxes and whatnot, get everything situated, tied up. Here we have the hose routing diagram. A couple of variances we're going to make. We're not going to come just straight here. I mean, you could come through the firewall. I don't know. I'm going to do a bulkhead. I'll show you the bulkhead we're going to use. I'm going to bulkhead it here for the AC hoses as well as the heater hoses. And then it doesn't tell you where exactly you want to put your ports. Basically, your port for charging, one has to be in this number 8 here, one has to be in this number 10. Just the most convenient places. This is the bulkhead I decided to use. Nice little black anodized diamond. And I decided to put this guy right in there. That'll look nice. I'm going to do a couple 90s that way to go over to our heater, which is currently looped. In line with it will be the heater control valve, but that's a problem for another day. And yeah, you can, like I said, some people will just run these through the firewall. No, not worth it. Put that in there, run the rest of our hoses. But all of that is a problem for another day. It is about 10 o'clock. I'm tired. I'm going to get out of here. At least I know what, at least I think I know what to get. I've made a list. I've scribbled down all of the angles I think I'm going to need. So let's say, for instance, number 10, 45 degree coming out of the compressor. I've written all my little notes down and composed a list of all the fittings I'm going to need. I'm going to call Cold Hose tomorrow, a company out of Florida that does actually an adapter to run this AC compressor. Well, not this one, this style AC compressor and condenser. Can make my life a lot easier. I'll give them a call tomorrow, round up all the fittings and hoses I need. That'll probably take a little while to get here, but I'll be able to do some wiring. I could probably get everything wired tomorrow. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, till tomorrow. Here we are on day 2 of the air conditioning install. It's wiring day, my least favorite day. That's fine. We got our instructions, our supplies. We're going to get through this. I'm going to hit the kind of high points like we talked about. Since every application is a little different, you don't need to see every step of this. Follow the instructions, read the diagram, you'll get it. It's not that hard. Give you kind of the high view of what we got done so far. On this box, the majority of the wires goes out the driver's side, and there's a few that go over here on the passenger. Originally, I was talked about doing a set of wires to that side, a set of wires to that side. 2 holes in the firewall, just, it didn't make sense. Let's just run them across the back, extend 3 wires, cut a couple down. Terminals are cheap, people. If your wire is too long, just trim it down, put a new terminal on it. It's going to look so much better. It's going to fit better. We have the majority of the harness here. It's coming through. We have our control box, which are going to fasten. Whoop, come here. That'll get fastened under here. Something like that, but with some screws. Then the harness comes around, down, and I found a hole that was already in the firewall right here. Stuck a grommet in it. Whoop, hey, there you are. Stuck a grommet in there, be good to go. Now, we're going to tie wrap all this up really well. It looks messy, but it's really not. We went ahead and tie wrapped the majority of the harness here. All that looks good. And there are a mess of grounds, 3 grounds here, 2 blacks, or excuse me, 2 whites and a black. And up under here where you can't see, there's a little ground post that I already made for the chassis harness. Just going to piggyback those under here. Be good to go. Now we just pull this out. Access to our OBD connector. Boom. Ah, it's the little victories. You can see the harness popping through here. It kind of runs right under this pre-existing harness. So once I get all this loomed, that'll look nice. Actually, take that back. This part here, this is getting a little tricky. Now, it came with this plug on it, but I didn't want to drill a hole big enough to get this plug through the firewall. So I decided to de-pin it, and it was real simple. I just took my little pick tool, and right down inside of there, we probably can't see, it's got these little tabs. You just slightly bend the tab back, and the wire pulls out the back of the plug, and it's much easier to get this little bundle through the firewall and then put it all back together. Now, fortunately, every one of these is colored different. You see white with a blue stripe, white with a brown, with a red. You get the point. There's actually a diagram in the manual of which one of these wires goes to which location in the plug. Just pay attention to which orientation the plug's in. De-pin it, run it through the firewall, plug it back in. That'll be fine. Now this is for the heater control valve, which is going to end up living probably somewhere over here. I think we're going to have plenty of length on this. Actually, I need to take a couple of these zip ties off and give me a little more slack. So that'll go back that way. That'll be good. Then coming to the front, we have our AC trigger wire for the compressor. That goes up. And then the main power wire, which will tie in right here to the box. But until we get everything done, we're just going to put these up here. Probably go ahead and terminate this one. Yeah, we'll go ahead and terminate this one. We're going to put a new compressor on it, so we're going to wait a minute on this. We'll just tie it out of the way. Jumping back inside, one thing I forgot to mention was our ignition 12. Now, you have a lot of options on this, especially in a body swapped vehicle. Being that it's chassis swap, there was a lot of things we didn't use. For instance, all the factory AC stuff, airbag stuff, different things like the airbag turn-off switch thing. There's a lot of things we didn't use, so there's a lot of 12-volt and constant and 12-volt switch options under the dash. So what I did is I went and found the largest gauge that had a 12-volt switch, looked up the plug, and found it was actually an AC plug, and it's a very similar gauge wire. I think they're both 14 gauge. So just took a little male spade, and it was a female connector. Boop, easy enough. Don't overcomplicate this if you don't have to. That's it for day 2. Got it wired up. Spent about another 3, actually probably 4. I'll show you why it took longer than I thought it would. It never ceases to amaze me what you find in these trucks. Wiring harness branched off. That'll go in that vicinity somewhere. Plenty of slack. Got these all tied up. Now this will get that really cool woven split loom. Look really neat. Mounted our circuit breaker right here. Little button head Allens. Tied that up to there. Should be good to go. All right, legit first test. Let's see if this makes noise or makes smoke. Let's see, key on. Oh yeah. Yeah, that is moving some serious air. Wow, pretty impressive. Looks like it's got a high, medium, low, off, on, and obviously this will be the temperature mixture. But no, that doesn't work right now because maybe pretty sweet. Another thing on our list is new weather stripping. To be honest with you, this truck, she's never had weather stripping, at least not the time I've owned it. You can see where it had it some time in its life. The entire time I've been driving, it's just been wind noise pretty much. And I noticed there was a draft coming from down in the floorboard area. I found one little hole, one little 7/8 plug. It was a rubber plug that I forgot to put in. I thought, oh, okay, that's easy enough. Let's also check the fresh air vents. You know, there's a flapper in the floor and the kick panel. So I opened it up, and this is what I found. Yeah, an entire mouse condo. I don't know where the purple came from, but yeah, all that was in the cowl in here. And this was the passenger side. Really not much better. It, surprisingly enough, it never leaked water. It never backed up into the cab or did anything funky. I guess it was draining just enough. I took a screwdriver, you know, went up in the drain, and the cowl is super solid. I made sure that there was no rusty, and it's solid. It was just holding a bunch of crap. Cleaned it all out, took the little door out, vacuumed it up. Yeah, I can't believe with all the welding I did on this thing that I never caught any of that on fire. I thought I'd cleaned it out. Oh well, I'm glad I found it now. Better late than never. And that's it. And today too, ordered some parts today. Hoses, fittings, dryer, trying air switch. Hopefully that'll be in. Well, we'll see you when that comes in. Another day, another project. On today's list, let's start with this guy. This is my dedicated F100 cooler, hand pinstripe. Check that beauty out. By my buddy Taylor, Freak Studios, excuse me. And yeah, I love having it in here. It matches the vibe of the truck really well. Keeps the not beers cold. Major problem with it though, it slides all around. Even when it's packed down with ice and beverages, you'll take a turn and you'll hear it go, whoo, pow. And I mean, it's already scuffed it up a little. I don't want to add to the patina anymore. So I'm trying to figure out, I've been thinking for a while, how can I secure this and it look cool, tasteful, vintage, hot rod-ish? Well, this is what I came up with. These little guys. Knocked these out of some scraps I had left over from the Courier door panels. And this will go right there, more or less. I'm gonna screw them down to the bed floor, one on each corner of the truck. That should keep it from flying around. Turned out pretty neat. Real simple. Just some little flared holes, riveted it together. I think it really fits the whole look of the truck. I'll show you how I made these. It's pretty straightforward. Doesn't take anything real crazy. This is the material we're using. It's 30 thou aluminum. Just nothing special. And I came up with this just by taking some, you know, good old arts and crafts material here. I'm like, okay, I think this will be neat. And let's add some flanges. Slightly overcomplicate it with rivets. Just get creative. Get a pen, some construction paper. Just figure it out as you go. I mean, fabrication on the fly, that's kind of the new motto here. This can be cut out a bunch of different ways. You could do it with a jigsaw, you could do it with a bandsaw. They're pretty straight cuts other than this radius. I just decided to use this guy. This is just a real basic Woodward fab shear and nothing crazy, nothing too expensive. If you're doing any fab work on a regular basis, you should really invest in one of these. The Beverly shear style is way better, but also more expensive. For this little thin stuff, I mean, it just cuts through it like butter. Chomp away. Yeah, pretty close. Nice clean cuts. We can go back with a little grinder and make sure that radius is perfect. That'll do. We did the same thing with these pieces. We just took them on the anvil, laid them flat, took a piece of wood, broke it around. This stuff's so thin you really don't need a sheet metal brake. Cut this angle wrong, but that's fine. I cut it wrong in the favorable direction where I had extra material. It really needed to go back that way. It's fine. We'll trim it up as we go. To create this radius here, I just used this 1.5 inch tube as a template. Since it was a template, we can also use it to bend our material around. Just take your time, make sure it's squared up-ish. And this material it's so easy to work with. And you'd think that it probably won't be strong enough to hold that cooler in place, but you would be really surprised once you triangulate this stuff and rivet it together, it comes really strong. And I mean, if we're being honest, the cooler isn't going to stay full for long. There we go. Just foot form it to about a 90. That's pretty close. Take this guy. Pretty close. You can see it's kind of sort of shaping up here. There's the little extra angle we talked about. Won't be a problem. We'll just trace that and snip it off. Round these corners, round those corners. Coming on in there. Got it clamped up. Threw some 1/8 inch Clecos in there. If you're going to clamp this aluminum stuff, take a second and put a little tape around your clamp. It just lessens the chance of marring it like it did on the first one. Luckily, one of these I'm building is going to be in the back corner where you'll never see it. That's the one I learned on. Happy little accidents. With it unclamped, we can go ahead and start popping some of these little rivets in it. The way I do these is take one Cleco out at a time. And those aren't as particular about the hole as the rivet is, so I always just run back through it one more time. Make sure you clean off all the little burrs and stuff. Pop your rivet in. And they sell like a backer to go on the back of this and squish it in. You don't absolutely have to have that if you have a good hard metal surface, you know, kind of like a vise. So, and it requires this special rivet punch. And what I do is I turn my air compressor down and turn my air hammer down as low as I can. Get it on there. Make sure you're pressing up. Boom. Doesn't take much. Layers out the bottom of the rivet like that. Good and solid. Let's do that 3 more times and replace my air fitting. That's annoying. There we go. Riveted together. I mean, yeah, you could use pop rivets on this. It just, I don't know, to me it looks cooler. Am I going to be the only one that probably notices that? Yeah, but if we're going to do better fab work, we have to practice. What better to practice on than some little rinky-dink thing like this that is, you know, it's kind of hidden. It's on a patina truck, and if people see it, appreciate it, great. If not, at least we got better today. For the sides here, they looked a little plain with just, I mean, this looks good. I think this would have been totally fine. It just looked a little plain. I felt like it needed a dimple die. Well, these are so small, none of the traditional dimple dies I have would fit here without like being right on the edge or, you know, deforming this. There wasn't anything that I had that would work. So I'm gonna use this little crater maker from Hammer Fabs. Really cool little tool. I'll give you a quick and dirty rundown, and I'm just eyeballing this. You can get real particular and lay this out absolutely perfect. I feel like I can eyeball it good enough. I'm kind of going in line with this one roughly. It doesn't have to be perfect. There used to be, for those that been around a while, remember the show Biker Build Off, there was the one builder, Billy Lane, and I loved his build style because he never really used tape measures. He actually made fun of one of his competitors one time that did use tape measures. He took it and busted it with a hammer on the show. I thought that was hilarious. And I've kind of felt that you know, that's something I could relate to in fab work. There is a time and place for it. Then again, there's a time and place for freestyle. This is very much freestyle. Now, this crater maker, let's see if we take it apart here. It's got a little guide pin in the center. That's 3/16. Just so happens the end of this particular unibit's 3/16. Nothing crazy, not nerding out too much. Just kind of deburr the back of it like that. And then the crater it's going to form could either be like an innie or an outie, I guess, depending on which way you want it to look. I want it to be an outie, so we'll put it together with a pin facing out. And we're going to use the vise to squish it down. Now, you can use a press, but this aluminum is so thin and easy to work with. You'll see the vise just, I mean, it squishes it down fine. I don't see a point in rigging up the press just to do that. See the little shape we made there? It's pretty sweet. I'm going to do the other side. Same thing. Pin out. Just reverse the sides here to get it. We want it as deep in the jaw of the vise as possible. Oh, come here. There we go. Now you can see, got our two little craters. Now what these are really designed for, I don't have one handy, but it's designed for a 1032 button head Allen to go through that hole, and it's kind of like a finish washer for it, which would look really cool. But I found that if you take your old unibit back out, go up about 3 steps, now it looks like a interesting shaped nipple die. Do that on each side, like that. Take a little deburr tool, voila, cool little corner brace. Let me know what you think. There's a bunch of different ways. I've seen people, I researched it on Instagram and Googled it. Some people use like leather straps over it. That's neat, and that would absolutely work. But I wanted it where I could like take it out and set it down pretty easily without fumbling around too much. And I didn't want to strap the lid down, because if you want to like drive around with it accessible, like let's say I'm at the racetrack and I want to get me a sparkling water out, I don't want to have to strap and unstrap it every time I move the truck around. This is my solution. I'm gonna pop a couple little holes in the bottom to screw it to the floor. There we go. What would you do? Let me know. Went to the local hardware store, grabbed us some little stainless Phillips heads with some stainless fender washers, pre-drilled the holes first, mounted them up. Yeah, see how it looks with the cooler in it. Yeah, there we go. I think that looks pretty sweet. Once again, just something subtle but tasteful. Yeah, I can dig it. Another mission complete. I'm really happy with the way these cooler mounts turned out. And in the time I've been whittling them out and putting them in, I've had 2 people stop by, and both, my buddy Eric from Queen City and another guy, both stopped by. They're like, man, those are really cool. You could use those on a Yeti or on a tote or whatever to hold something in place. If this is something that you guys may want to buy, I can make some of these things, put them on the website. We already got hats, t-shirts, maybe start adding some products to it. Tell me what you think. Would you be into something like this? Or maybe if I just made a PDF template of it so you can make it out of whatever material you want, if you wanted steel, stainless, whatever. I don't know. Let me know. What do you guys think? Got the fittings in we've been waiting on. This company here, coldhose.com. Awesome customer service. And they had everything we needed in stock, including hose by the foot and some weirdo fittings here. The only company I was able to find that sells the adapters to run a stock Crown Vic compressor, which saves us from having to switch over to a Sandin or some other aftermarket compressor. It is what they call a single displacement compressor. There are some things called a variable displacement compressor. You can't use those with vintage air, but because this one's single displacement, no problem. Same thing with a condenser. It's just a normal condenser, but with weirdo fittings. Cold Hose had us covered. Here are the fittings to go to regular universal lines. Here are the FS18 compressor fittings. They also had compressor fittings for the older style. If you're using an older Crown Vic chassis, they have what you need there. All the ones we needed with our service ports. I got a selection of 6, 8s, and 10s. I already kind of think I might have got a couple wrong ones. We'll see, but that's fine. What I like to do is on the diagram here from Vintage Air, I like to make little notes. So like I draw a line here, that's where our bulkhead is, so I know I'm gonna have, like, sorry for the chicken scratch, number 6 straight, number 10 45 with a service port. I kind of make all my notes, measure around, and see what I'm gonna need. Until you actually get the fittings here and start playing with them, it's just only kind of an educated guess. I ordered 2 45s, number 10 under the dash. I'm pretty sure I really needed 2 90s because I didn't anticipate how far they stick out. We're gonna try it, we're gonna play around with them. Once we get everything squared away, we'll show you what we did and show you the crimp process on one or two of the hoses. It's pretty straightforward. What I've done here, went ahead and laid out some possible fitting options. Got a 90 and a 130, which may go, I'm not exactly sure how that's going to be just yet. We have to put this heater control valve in, and you see right there the little arrow, make sure that that's in the right direction, and there is on the inside on the box, the upper and the lower, there's a specific one it's supposed to be plumbed to, as well as the motor. On this particular one, we have a port right, so you can see it, right there, and then another one hiding in the back right there. The lower and back there actually travels under the intake up to the water pump, and that one's just in the intake itself. It specifies which one's which right here in the instructions. So just take your time, make sure you're watching the arrows on which way it's supposed to flow. We'll figure that out. I figured just maybe a little simple bracket, little S-shaped bracket or something to hold our valve up in that department. I've got a couple different options as far as 90s, this 130. We're going to kind of play that by ear. I like to go ahead and get all the fittings just kind of laid out. This is the configuration where it worked best. Don't pay attention to this one that's already crimped. This was I got worked ahead. I made a little practice piece there. That's our number 6 hose. Comes up to our dryer. Just a simple little L bracket. Some grade 8 stuff. Our trinary switch that still needs to be wired. Travels over to our condenser, and you can see right here, these are our little adapter pieces. Worked out really nice. Now, one thing to note on these adapter pieces, coming out of the condenser, there should be a number 8 hose and a number 6. Well, these adapters are only 8 and 8. So this fitting right here that you can barely see, this is especially one that's an 8 thread with a 6 hose size. Come from Cold Hose, real straightforward, but just keep that in mind. Those being on, obviously this one's not crimped yet. I like to lay these out, and it's going to be almost impossible to see down there. I went ahead and installed them on the compressor. Let's see if we can get a better angle. Here we can kind of see a little better. This is our adapter down here at the bottom with our number 10 adapter to our number 8. I went with a 45 on this 8 to kind of keep it, you can't see, but the exhaust manifold's pretty close here. I'm going to put a little bit of heat shield on this one as well. These will come up, and I just cut them, slid the hose down into it, and ran it upward. Back up top here, we have our number 8. Come around to the condenser, and it's not crimped. I just snuck up on the length until it looked good, and it cleared our 6. Yeah, just cut it, and you can always trim more. Better to measure twice, cut once, or cut twice, measure once. Yeah, that. Sneak up on this one. With the 10 hose coming up, it needs to land back here. Now, this hose, it has a curve to it, as you can see where it's been rolled up. You can use this curve to your advantage. What we're going to do is where it comes up through here, I'm going to roll the hose. You see it curves this way, but I opted for a 45 there, so I'm going to roll the hose around to use that curve to go right up to our 10. And it'll look a lot better, make a lot more sense when I have 2 hands and trim it. I'm going to trim these down. I'm going to walk you through how to crimp it up like this. Today we're using the Master Cool 71 550 unit. Comes with several different dies for 6, 12, 10, 8. Real easy to work with. You just chuck it up in the vise here. These things are kind of encased in plastic, and it just kind of sets down in place. Boop, like that. I've taken and marked the hose right here, just kind of an idea of which way the fitting needs to be turned. Once again, with the hose having such a curve to it, we can use that to our advantage, and I know that right here is where it fit really well on the truck, so that's where it's going to go back. All these fittings have a little peephole right here just to make sure the hose is fully seated. When you set it in here in the die, you'll just kind of split the difference front to rear. It's got a little lock-in pin. Boop, put in there like that. Run it down till it's snuggish. Checking that it stays centered, and actually we're going to rotate this around a little bit so I can see my mark better. Yeah, right there, almost messed up. Take your time, get the mark right. $19mm, or probably 3/4. Double check it, and we can just go to town. You'll feel the resistance increase. You'll know you're getting really close. There's actually, right here, there's a little line that lines up at the bottom of this top die. And when that's level, it means it's all the way down. Back it back off. Back it back off enough. A little more. There we go. Voila. Check out that beautiful crimp. Now, you can get local like AC places and hydraulic hose places to do this for you, but last time I went somewhere, they wanted like, I think it was like $10 a crimp, $10 or $15 a crimp. And we can do this in, what, no time? A minute or less. The tool is a little expensive, at least the nice ones like this. Shout out to my buddy Eric at Queen City that let me bum this while he's on vacation. Definitely gonna have to buy one now. If you're gonna do AC multiple times, go ahead and make the investment. It's worth it. So check it out. Got all the crimps done. Everything looks nice. After crimping, I took and blew out all the hoses with some compressed air. Put a little bit of this supplied mineral oil around the little O-rings. Put it all together, snug it up. No problem. It probably took me, I don't know, maybe 30, 45 minutes to crimp all this, and that was just one crimp at a time, making sure that all my lines were marked up. You could probably do it faster, but this is like my second time doing it. Didn't want to get in a rush. At $10 per crimp at the local place, I think this has 12 crimps, so it would have been like 120 bucks. You can buy that tool for around 200. So if you do 2 systems, bam, paid for itself. Now, one of the lines on the inside we had a little problem with as far as clearance. I'll show you what our solution was. This here is a 4 Seasons 1929-0. This is an easy clip style. Now, there's no crimping with this. As we can see right here, actually, we got one right here. It has little barbs and little O-rings. Different kind of hose, but you just push it in. It has these little cages, these little clips, this little special tool. This is way easier to assemble. The offset of these hoses, or these fittings, it worked better for our space constraints under the dash. Decided to go with these. I'll show you how to put together. It's real simple. One side here, already knocked that out, but let's slide some of these guys on, and actually I'm going to be OCD enough to make sure they're all going in the same direction. Slide those on. I know this fitting has to be 180 degrees from this one. Now, I did lube that up first. Same supplied mineral oil. It needs to be right about there. And this little cage goes in this little groove right here. Snap it in. We'll work these guys over. Like so. Once again, let's be OCD, make sure all the stuff lines up the best we can. This is one of those things that only I'll know is there. Well, me and the 13 people that watch this video. Now, the special pliers here, they have a little indentation there. No indentation on this side. The indentation goes to this, so it locks it in. Just making sure we line it up. Boom. One. And obviously, the clips have to be in these little recessed areas of the cage. And two. Bang. Done. This is faster and, in my opinion, easier than crimping. But these fittings, like for instance, this guy right here is like $29, and it gets you, you know, let's say one side of the fitting. Whereas a regular crimp style one and the number 10 90 degrees steel, I think that was $12. So it's twice the money, but it's super easy to do. You could do this up under a dash, no problem. These guys right here are pretty expensive. These are our buddy Tracy's. I don't remember what he told me he paid for these. Once again, it's an investment. If you want to do a bunch of these, it would pay for itself. This actually, if you notice this hose, it's number 10, but it's smaller. Once again, if you had space constraints, this is a better option. Worked out for us. I don't think it matters that it's all mismatched. It's all the same. Number 10, should be ready to go. All the heater lines are hooked up. Give you a quick little rundown. Regular 90, used a 135, and it is just a regular straight piece of hose with a gentle little curve back down to the tube that goes under the intake. This is a 3/4 to 5/8 90-degree elbow. Just made a simple little bracket here. I've seen so many people just let this switching valve just hang out in midair. I don't know. I can't do that. Made a quick little bracket out of some 1/8 inch, bend it around, drilled a hole, no big deal. 90 degrees, done. Went ahead and wrapped the wires up. Oh, that looks nice. Probably gonna, definitely gonna secure that a little bit. I think, yeah, we're all finished under here. Under the dash here, you can kind of see what we got going on. This is our number 6 with a 45 on each end. Found these really cool S-shaped 5/8 hoses at the parts store. If you ever need some weirdo stuff like this, just be nice to the parts people. They'll let you go in the back and look around on the shelves and see what they got. Found this one, which has a little different spread between the curves than this one does. Just poked around, found it. This is our push lock number 10 hose back here that you really can't see. Yeah, everything under here is done. And once we get out, you know, like a normal, if you're just looking in the cab, other than the mess I've made in the floor here with extra fittings and whatnot, I'm real happy with the install. Clean, simple, effective, hopefully. Fingers crossed. I like it. For the trinary switch, we've wired it in, the blue wire coming from inside of the cabin to the black and green. The other black and green, we turned that into gray, ran it down to the compressor because the compressor wire is gray. And this will control the compressor function. The other part of the trinary switch, which would be this blue, we hooked up to a ground, and this guy right here. We got to figure out exactly where that guy goes. It's on one of the pins of that plug. That is the factory pressure transducer. Just got to figure out which one it is. What this will do will trigger the electric fans to turn on. As long as we can get the compressor to kick on, we'll be good. If we can get the fan to kick on at the same time, that'll be even better. I got to consult a couple of my friends that are way smarter at this stuff than I am. But for now, that'll get us running. That'll get a compressor turned on. If this was a traditional system, then we could use this as the trigger for the fans straight to the fan. But this one runs through a fan module that's controlled by the computer. I don't know. This up here is above my pay grade. Before I short out the module or the computer, I'm gonna do my research. We can get it charged, we can get it working. It'll just work better when the fan's controlled as well. Yeah, that'll work. That'll get us by for now. Had the old vacuum pump hooked up here. Let it run for about 2 hours. Now, it only said 45 minutes. Longer the better. Been sitting down for actually a couple more hours on top of that. We've lost about 2 inch-pounds of vacuum. I think that's totally fine, because you have to consider all these valves and fittings and blah, blah, blah. It would have dropped way more by now if we had an actual leak. Should be good to go. Gotta go run and get some Freon, then we're ready to charge this. Yeah, oh, one more thing. While I have it in here, up on some stands for some upgrades, let's do one more thing that I've been kind of tossing back and forth in my head whether I wanted to tackle. Decided to go ahead and do it, is how loud this is. Now, I love the way it sounds. It's just a little too loud. If I'm going from here to the parts store, it's not bad. If I'm going, to Athens and back, that's about an hour drive. It's not terrible. It's when we're really chooching up the road and it just starts just to baa for hours. It gets old. And when you get down on it really hard, it's got just a little bit of a rasp up top that's kind of bothering me. But then again, it is a 2-valve Ford. That's kind of their thing. I want to try something to help alleviate that. As a little refresher, we're coming straight off the manifold, 2.5 inch, a couple flex pipes, V-banded. This is a Flowmaster Flow FX, so it is a 2 in, 1 out. Once again, 2.5 in, single 3 out, V-banded again. And I just went ahead and I added us a little resonator. I think this is going to be what we're going to need, or at least I hope it is. Just a straight through glass pack style resonator, Summit Racing Edition. And then we twist and turn. We come right up through here, through our side pipe, which is finally starting to get a little color behind it. Looking pretty sweet. Pretty confident this is going to get me the tone I want and make it less annoying on these long trips. Yeah, worst case, I get to do more exhaust work. It's a lot of fun. Out on our first test drive here with the new air conditioning system. It's 81 degrees today. And let's show you what we're getting out of the vent here. Yeah, about 30, 34, 35 degrees out of the vent. That's awesome. I've heard a lot of people say that you want 20 degrees of separation between your outside temperature and your inside temperature to have like a truly efficient cooling system. We've got over 40. Pretty good. And I love the way the new resonator sounds. Did everything that I hoped it would. Good to go. I love it when a plan comes together. Still haven't figured out exactly how to make the fan turn on with the AC. Gotta wait and talk to somebody a lot smarter about this stuff than me, but for now it's fine. You can definitely tell it's not as cold like when you're sitting for a long time, but it's still way better than no air conditioning. All in all, call this a win. But one last thing before we can call this little round of improvements done. As some of you may or may not know, I'm a huge antique tag guy. Love them. Georgia, 1970 and older. Cool vanity, vanity plates, political plates. Just, I don't know. It's been a thing of mine forever and ever. I love antique license plates. And this truck, it's never had one. Like, since I've owned it, I've never put a cool tag on the front. And I found one that just absolutely spoke to me. This guy. USA is still #1. And finally, I don't know, I think it completes the look of the truck. That's it for this video. Gonna go just peek my head under the hood, make sure there's no zip tie tails that I missed or anything leaking or loose or whatever. Just kind of throw the old eyes on it one more time. All in all, happy with the progress. It makes this truck that I already love a little more fun to drive and makes it where I can actually enjoy it in the summer and the winter time. Costs more money than I intended to, but hey, let's face it, that's hot rodding. It always does. Thanks for sticking around. Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you next time.